Uh, what is up, everybody? We have what you could make an argument for the best crowd control champion in the game. We're going to do our lava arena first to get that out of the way, but I have came across a champion that I've had for a while, and I've got her on both my main and my free to play, and I just never realized on my free to play I've always used her, but on my main I've just kind of had her in the vault because I didn't think she was as good as she actually is. She is a void legendary, so I mean she better be good, but they buffed her last fall, and it was frankly, it made her one of the best CC champions in the game, like literally up there with Fabian, Armont, and Odin. And a very unique champion as well. Like she fills a role that is not a lot of, I don't know if any champion has all of this in the same kit like she does. TRAMARIA is who people are sleeping on. After I get my lava arenas out of the way, I'm going to be pulling her up and doing like an actual deep dive into her kit. When you hear everything all in one go, dude, it's freaking astounding. It's this girl right here in the purple though. She puts out a decreased speed, a stun, turn meter depletion, turn meter fill, a true fear, standard fear, full team cleanse, and a block debuff all in one kit. And everything she does is AoE. And you never hear anybody talk about her. Yeah, she, in my opinion, is up there with Armand and Fabian and Odin. Like, she's definitely in the top 5, but depending on what your account needs, she could be like possibly the top crowd control if your account needs like a cleanser. She's not focused on damage like Odin, but between her fears and stuns, you could almost make a case that she's better than Armand's. You can go ahead and send it. I'll check it out in just a minute. see if we can ignore this block damage here and get a wipe. We might be able to get this out in the first turn. Yeah, we got them out in the first turn. Yeah, go ahead. Let me know whenever they're sent. Ooh, he got Solinar. Solinar is definitely a threat to be reckoned with, but I'm not as certain as he is as good as people hopped him up to be. I'm still more afraid of Marius, and I feel like Fabian annoys more, and Emberus is still like higher one-shot potential. You just have to know Solinar's kit to know to like not heal with him and know that you're not going to place debuffs. I've only went up against 2 or 3 Solinars though, so maybe they were just built poorly. And every time I switch turns, he's gonna get a free counterattack. So that is annoying. Luckily, that necrosis, I think, no, it did cause me to lose my turn. I was hoping the necrosis would wake me up from the sleep instead of me having to lose the turn, but I guess it didn't work that way. I'll check out the pictures as soon as this fight's over. The ops back up. I will say this is like the 3rd time I've had to kill him now. And where he stole my unkillable, yeah, he got me. Solinar definitely won that fight. Let's see what you got. Well, you're almost at 200 on Ezio. That's good. You've got pretty decent crit damage for the level that you're at. You definitely should try to get your crit rate up at least like 15 more points and try to get your accuracy up over 200 bare minimum on him. Where are you trying to use Jizzo exactly? Also, I see that you have a level 10 on the weapon. You should definitely go ahead and take that on up to 12. But I would recommend if their percentage rates, whatever the stats are, you go ahead and take them to 12 as well. And if it's a speed boot and a crit rate gauntlet, go ahead and take them to 16. I noticed that you're going like 10, 11, 12, 13 on your gear. Try to keep your gear in increments of like 8, 12, and 16. Your weapon, shield, and helmet, unless it's a triple roll, you're probably fine keeping those at a 12. And your chest plate, you could take it to 16 if it's a percentage, and your boots and gauntlets, if they're crit rate and speed respectively, go ahead and take them to 16. Baroka, she's not a bad champion, but she's definitely like a faction wars champion. But Ezio, Michelangelo, and Xenomorph, and Perception Gear is a decent gear set for Xenomorph. And Savage and Perception is probably close to optimal for Ezio. So I'm perfectly fine with that. Oh, damn, this is the same dude we just fought. But what I will say is I'm not really seeing a support or like a turn meter, which you don't really need a speed lead at your point in the game. But you definitely need a form of revolver, and I guess Maroka can kind of act as that, but she's not optimal. But your Ezio build is looking a lot better. Your Predator build definitely could use some, it's a work in progress, but even if they're not matching sets, if you can get a speed boot and gauntlet. Oh shit, man. I didn't even realize it. I got the same dude on both accounts. Like the previous fight, not the same dude on both accounts, but the same guy twice in a row on two different accounts. But as far as progression, what you have going on, it is good for progression. I have a habit of whenever I look at a champion, I look at it from an arena standpoint. Get that nice out of here. It is wild, man. I may have to start banning Solinar. The first few days when I fought him, he wasn't really much of an issue, but now he's pretty much wrecking me. I should probably look at his kid a little bit closer and see what counters him, if anything. Who to what? Like, what are you asking who about? Damn, Mortier. It's only a 4-star Fabian, so he's not going to have that accuracy boost. So that's a plus. I was Solinar. Yeah, he's that dude who kind of has like the flaming hair. He's kind of the new latest and greatest in Raid right now. Yeah, I'm gonna start banning him probably over Marius, because Marius, I just can't bring in Gizmac. As long as I don't bring in Gizmac, I can use Sigfrid to counter Marius. But with Solinar, where I'm running all mythical teams, and a lot of my mythicals get a lot of value out of their second form, it's hard for me to like use them effectively against Solinar. So I feel like he may be the bigger threat now. Ninja, the streamer or the champion? Well, the champion is based off of the ninja streamer, so like they literally designed him after him. It is wild because he's not even like a rage streamer, and he's one of the best boss champions in the game. Another reason Tramaria, this purple girl, is so good, her aura is a 23% speed in all battles, which is relatively high for a non-mythical champion. Uh, as it stands, no, you're not able to pull Ninja from a shard. But last year, I think, or yeah, I think last year they brought him back for like as a either a login event or there was a way to get him again last year. So they have brought him back, but he's not somebody that you can just get like a normal champion. They may bring him back again in the future. I'm not sure. Got Ember. Oh, a 6-star Fabian. That's frightening. And a 6-star Queen of Hearts. I think we're going to ban the Fabian and chance it with Hilby. All that stone skin. At least my unkillable can't be stripped, so Geralt should be able to one-shot him when it gets back around to her turn. Oh, she got it pulled off with the counterattack. Oh, Predator, don't evade my attacks right here. Awesome. Even under a decreased attack with no buffs or anything, girl still one-shotted him. That's crazy. McCrit. I like that name. That's kind of funny. But yeah, I'm going to McDonald's to get a McCrit. Did you have Alika the last time that you sent me your player list? Well, there's no events going on right now. So, it's not like it's going to serve your account any purpose other than you're just most likely going to pull a couple of rares. So, I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to, but personally, I wouldn't. I would at least wait till a shard opening event or a 2x, one of the two. And since that new fusion's coming up, which it'd be unlikely that a non-spending account is able to do the fusion anyways, unless they're a relatively late mid-game account that can actually do like Ultra Nightmare and stuff. But yeah, there's not really a reason to open the shards right now. Alika, the champion, this champion right here that my mouse is over, as far as arena goes, for what you have on your team, I mean, you've already got damage dealers, so, it's not like you necessarily need her. But she does have a very hard hitting AoE and a hard hitting single target, and she can lock out enemies. So, definitely a champion I would recommend. The next one would be, I'll pull it up. Oh, 9 days. Cool. Save me the time. Yeah. And by then, you probably get a couple more to put with it, anyways. And they do tend to have 2x summons during a champion chase event. Yeah, I would wait if I was you. Where it's only two, that's a like a 98% chance that all you're going to get is two rares. Well, I guess a 98% that you're not going to get a legendary, and like a 94% or 92%, about a 90% chance that you're only going to get rares. You already pulled them. I mean, it was only two anyways, so even if you do pull them, it's not that big of a deal. It's not like you're just pulling 20 shards outside of an event or anything. Ooh, a 6-star Empress. That's frightening. Oh man, he pulled the Geralt. That's a rough team right there already. The last two champions ain't too bad. Duchess is kind of off meta now. And Lalosser, she's good, but Empress or Geralt, I don't know who to ban. I'm thinking we ban the Empress. Uh, yeah, I'll show it to you. I don't have much. I've got like 25 blues and a few sacreds, but I pulled quite a bit last week, and so I just started my collection or saving them back up, like 5 or 6 days ago. Man, Geralt under that mercurial gear too. Awesome, we increased their cooldown because we was able to kill Lamassu. I'm kind of surprised that we was able to one-shot Lamassu like that. I am terrified of this Geralt taking a turn because I know what Geralt's capable of, and if they, it's in mercurial gear, so unless he just got really lucky with the gear, it's not too likely that it's going to be anything crazy. But if they've got lucky with the gear on her, this is going to be pretty much impossible to handle. And even when I kill her, if I don't have Duchess CC'd out or some means, she's just going to revive her. At least now I've only got one stack of total guard to worry about. Where are these provokes coming from? Damn, that true fear just hurt me. We did not need to get feared right then. Yeah, we lost that one. Siegfried's. Oh, well, I fucked up. I went ahead and quit out because I thought the girl was about to nuke us and she hit like a wet noodle. I literally just handed that fight over. I got ahead of myself, man. Ah, I feel dumb. I should have just let that play out. There was no need to quit out of that. I cannot believe I did that. Well, a slowpoke. Is he just going to run the clock out? I hope he ain't one of them guys that's AFK until the fight starts, hoping that he'll just get wins off of people backing out. Is he going to run a Vulcanus? What do you bet? What do you bet he runs Vulcanus? If I was leading with Carnage and Duchess, that's who I'd try to pull. If he has a Vulcanus. Yep, he does. Well, unless he pulls out a Marius, we know who we're banning. A Chalco. Okay. Cool. I wish I had a Duchess, then I could run like a really good Demon Spawn team where I've got Cometus. It's wild out of all these champions, I haven't been able to pull a Duchess yet. What a slow team, though. That was definitely meant to be a go second. Get out of here. Six-star Fabian. I know I keep running the same champions, but it seems like everybody's team, or just about everybody that we go up against, runs the same champions. Fabian, Empress, Marius. That Demon Spawn team was kind of a change. Normally it's, you don't see Galeus as much, but Arbiter, Fabian, Empress, that's the same old, same old. I do wish that we could see some new meta champions, like champions being used more instead of just the same champions over and over again. And I know how contradictory that sounds coming from me using the same team over and over again, but at least I'm not using the champions that everyone else is using. I mean, yeah, if people had these, I guess they'd be using them, but I don't know. You'll see Siegfried here and there, and you'll see Geralt here and there, but you don't see a lot of Arbias, Lazarius, and Gizmek. Which is wild, because they're all amazing in the arena. I don't even know what you mean there. I know that that's a meme, but I don't know what the meme means. I know South Park made fun of it. Ooh, damn Galis. Another 6-star Fabian. A Tinky Winky. What a name. Galathir, Fabian, Marius. Nothing new, man. Luckily, we was able to get Gizmack through, and hopefully the burn will take care of Nice when he transforms. Got Magma Shield and a Stone Skin. You know, at this point, going up against so many Fabians, I'm just kind of used to being locked out. Like every thought I have to go into locked out. We almost took him out. Oh, we lost that one. We're not getting too lucky tonight, man. It's been about a 50-50 split. Normally, we do a lot better than this. And it's the same dude again. This is the second or third person that I've had to fight multiple times in a row. What do you mean? The champion that I'm referring to, I've got her on both accounts, my free to play and my main. And if I've got her on both accounts, then I know quite a few people must have to have her. And when just after my last arena battle here in a minute, you'll when I bring her kid up, you'll see why I'm saying like the people that have her, they're not using her and they're missing out. She has one of the craziest kids in raid that you just don't ever hear anyone talk about. Damn, Mariska. I had him petrified, and you had to cleanse him, block debuff him, and give him a turn. And there ain't nothing I can do against him. He just has a better team than I have. Me not having Marius really does handicap this account. Bullish. But what do you got, Butch? A Marius, of course. We're gonna pull Gizmac last. That way, if there's a champion that we need to ban more, we can keep the Marius. But the way it's looking, Marius is going to be the ban. Yeah. I'm not able to pull last. I'd like to have that +2 Wukong. No Wukong. He's 5-starred, but he's only a regular. Let's see these numbers. Not bad. Noel? They're only 2-starred, though. You're probably going to pull a Sir Nick, but at 2 stars, I think we can handle that. I don't know. She might be pulling a tournament, or she might just be running Hilby and Noel together. Wow, that is not the direction I expected them to take this team in. I guess let's get rid of Hilvey. We got that material we got to worry about on Noel. That's annoying. At least we was able to get all our champions' turns off for Fabian, put him on cooldown. Not like it really helped any. That helped. Let's see if we can one-shot him. Yes, we can. Okay. I went up against this dude last night. I don't remember what team he played, but I remember his name and icon. A +1 Marius and a Suzanne. Holy crap. I'm getting close to my Marius, though. But even when I get him, I gotta pull a soul for him. Whatever day we do wind up getting him, we're gonna be doing a big soul pull. So Furion, nice. It's a good team. Like, that is a strong arena team right there. And a Freya? Man. And dude, they are way faster than me. Like, they are lapping me. They really might. They might be getting 2 turns per one of mine. That's insane. I bet every one of their speeds is like close to 500. I'm not sure where I got locked out at. Never noticed how cool Sufurion looked laying there. Dude, that is a tough nice. They just reviving the whole party. This is a terrifying fight. Damn it. That there wasn't enough. Like, this has been a horrible night for La Marina. We have just been getting wrecked all night on here. I gotta up my game. Just so they can't choose a Fabian, we're throwing the Fabian out instead of our buys. And with them having Empress and Marius, I would almost guarantee you they would add a Fabian. They pulled in Armons. That's the first time I've seen Armons all night. And they didn't even ban my Fabian. And I don't even think I have gear on him. I don't. Well, that's a wasted slot. How did it kill my Lazarius and not my Fabian? Well, at least we're going to go out on a win. Man, what was our kill streak or whatever? Battle log tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 50-50. That sucks. I don't like a 50-50. I like it at least like 70-30. Anyways, the champion spotlight for the night. Get into the meat and potatoes of this. Where'd she go? All right. So what's up, everybody? We have here what I think is the most slept on champion in the game. Yes, given she is a void legendary. Hang on 1 second. I got to hit the record. Oh, it is recording. Sorry about that. What's up, everybody? Toothless here. And what we have here is what I think is probably the most slept on champion in the game. Yeah, she is a void legendary, but I feel like she's up there with the likes of Armand's and Fabian and maybe even Odin. She serves an entirely different role as them, but when you see her kit, you'll see why. She has an A2 that, yes, it is a 4-turn cooldown, but it's an AoE with a 100% chance of a stun, and after attacking has a 100% chance to decrease their turn meter by 30%. So it's not taking all their turn meter like Armand's, but it's still an AoE stun with turn meter reduction. Her A3 is a full team cleanse, pulls the turn meter of each ally by 15%, then places a block debuff on all allies for 2 turns, then fills the turn meter of each ally by a further 10% for every CC debuff removed, and then fills the turn meter of each ally by a further 5% for any other debuff removed. This has the potential to be the highest full team turn meter fill in the game. Like, if everybody is under a CC and she strips a couple of like burns or poisons or decreased defenses off of them on top of it, they're going to get like a 50-60% turn meter fill. Her passive is that she's immune to CCs except for Petrify. So if she's most likely not going to get stunned, so she'll be able to cleanse the CC off of everybody else. Fills this turn meter by 20% whenever an enemy tries to place any CC, including Petrification, on this champion. So not only does she not get CC'd, but she gets turn meter boost from people trying to place it on this champion. And then her A1 is one of my favorite A1s in the game. It's an AoE that has a 70% chance of putting the big burst and a decreased speed on everybody. Also has a 50% chance of placing a fear on enemies with 50% turn meter or less. And then finally, she has a 23% speed aura in all battles. Her reviews are pretty lackluster. They're like actually pretty dog trash. But you run her in the stun set that gives you a 18% chance to stun, and every time she goes, since it's an AoE, no matter what she's doing, even on her A1, she's going to have a 4 times 18. That would be 32. That'd be a 72% chance of putting a stun out, even on her A1. And that's on top of a decreased speed and a fear. And in a lot of cases, she'll put out a fear and a stun on the same move at the same time. And also, if they're by some chance resisting her stun on the A3, it's got that chance to ignore the resistance and go ahead and put it on. And we also run her in retaliation gear. That way, whenever she gets attacked, she's got a chance to counterattack, putting out more fears, decreased speeds, and stuns. We'll run her in the arena a little bit here. I want to run her on my free-to-play because I don't have the best gear setup on her, on my main, because I use it on mythicals. But can we get a turn? If Loki can get a turn, no, never mind. That's gone. Okay. So what we're running here is just Wukong, Alice, Lemnisci, and TRAMARIA. But TRAMARIA really is like the winning factor in a lot of these fights. And just watch her level of control that she's going to have. We're going to stun everybody here. Well, it didn't land on Helicat for some reason. But regardless, everybody else got stunned and lost a third of their turn meter. So basically, as long as she can go first, there's nothing much that they can do. And even when they do get back around to their turn, she'll have already went again and put a decreased speed or a fear or both, depending on their turn meter level. It's a pretty squishy team. And see how her A1 just stunned her? And I'm not sure what causes it, but I've noticed that her A1 sometimes will decrease turn meter. Maybe it's a mastery or something. But even if it is a mastery, that's just something else that goes into her crowd control. So she's able to do like turn meter manipulation, turn meter fill, stuns, fears, and decreased speeds every single time she makes a move, no matter what she does. And even if she gets locked out, she's still bringing 30% decreased speed AoE with a chance to stun and put out fear on everybody. So even when it comes to lockouts, she doesn't really lose that much of her value. The main thing she loses is her cleanse. Like, she can be entirely locked out, still put out stuns, turn meter reduction, and fears, and decreased speeds. That's 4 different things that she's able to bring on her A1 alone. And it's AoE. I don't know too many champions in the game that have that strong of an A1 and that level of crowd control overall. And then on top of all of that, that not even being all that she's capable of, because she has that full team cleanse with the block debuffs for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. That also fills the turn meter of everybody. Yeah, you do have to worry about polymorph, but you can bring in the wand of submission, and that should take care of that, wouldn't it? I hadn't even thought about making a dark elf for siege post. Who do you think would be good to pair with her? And I'm curious why you never hear anybody mention her. Like, even when she got the buff, a couple of videos like briefly mentioned her, but like I don't even remember any like build guides or anything anybody made. I'm sure somebody did, but like not that I'm aware of. And in that case, if it's just wand versus wand, you're kind of coming down to A, who has the higher upgraded wand, and B, who's got more luck. But as far as like in the arena, this champion is straight carried my free-to-play account. I lucked out and got her as one of my very first like champion pulls. She was my first legendary on this account. outside of Loki or like the free legendaries that you get. But it's I would I wouldn't know I would not take her over Fabian. And just because of how hard Odin hits and him bringing the not enfeeble, the berserk debuff, I'm not gonna say I would take him over or her over him. But I believe I would take her over Almonds. Just because that utility she's bringing with the cleanse and multiple different forms of CC. Yeah, I don't have Aphidus or Foley or Swarm Speaker for that matter. So I guess that's why I haven't really considered the Siege faction post for her, making it Dark Elf. Dark Elves is probably my least built up faction on my main account. I mean, I'm just curious who I would even have to put with her. Yeah, I don't really have any good champions to pair with her. I bet her plus Mithrala would be a annoying AF combo between Mithrala petrifying people and her with her fear and stuns and turn meter and decreased speeds. I bet that would be a super annoying combo. And you could make him a pretty tanky combo as well. Also, she's got a decent speed. Not great, but 105 isn't bad. It's slightly above average. But I feel like she definitely deserves better reviews than what she has. I would say you could probably do all right with Tramaria, Mithrala, and Madame Suri. But just looking at who I have access to for the Dark Elves, I'm not really sure who I can bring in as a damage dealer other than Xenomorph, maybe. I'm curious how that would even play out in the arena. They also could bring in Marinix because Mithrala's Hex would pair well with her, which move is it? Her, yeah, her A3. It does it do anything else? It ignores unkillable shield if they're under a hex, but she doesn't get any like extra damage, I suppose. I'm gonna throw some gauntlets on him and just see how them four form in like standard like gold 4 or gold 5 arena. Probably not gonna do too well without me completely re-gearing, but I just want to try it out and see how it plays. We need some gauntlets to put on him. Throw a couple of glyphs on. Stevie. Let's finish off Mithrala's kit real quick. I almost feel like Mithrala would be better in Feral than in Pinpoint. Mercurial would also be interesting for her. I could rock a Mercurial set on her. She would even have resistance as the banner. Don't really care about the amulet. We'll see how this runs real quick, though. I'm curious to see how this plays out. Oh, definitely. Do I have her kit backwards? I do have it backwards. I was thinking her resistance increased her accuracy. Shit. All right, let's swap that chest plate around. I'm glad you pointed it out to me, man. I completely was overlooking that. That's not a very good build. Them stats are pretty horrendous. We don't have very many glyphs either. Well, damn, did it freeze up? Okay. Luckily, I guess that's what Mercurial is for, is to help negate the bad stats. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do that. So a little bit of gear real quick so we can take that and banner up to 16. As far as stone skin and protection, I should have plenty of gear already leveled up for those on the actual artifacts, so. Okay. Definitely keep that in mind on this build. I haven't used Mithrala in the arena in 2 years, probably. Ever since I got our bias, I kind of quit using Mithrala because they serve a similar purpose as far as like the petrification goes. But it is looking like Cinemorph is going to be my only real choice for a nuker. Block Spurt? What is that? Yeah, our bias is great. I'm just trying right now, trying to see if how good of a dark elf team that we could come up with. Our bias is definitely one of my favorite champions, though. Oh, thanks. Do you have her on your account? Who are you? Who are you using? Or are you using a dark elf post? Oh, I feel you, man. I love trying new builds on champions and hearing what other people would use. May not have any active chest plates. All right. So that's not going to work. What about on helmets? What have we got? Yeah, you really need at least, if they're a nuker, you really need at least a 4-star blessing. And if they're like a debuffer, or a buffer, you really need a 5-star blessing to be like somewhat competitive. Well, that's a little better. She'll at least be tanky, and she'll have about 660 on the resistance, which isn't horrible. It's not great, but it ain't horrible. Damn, she ain't got any masteries, though. How the fuck did that happen? The previous fusion, you mean Cassandra? Oh, no, Doolittle, whatever. The one that went with Solinar. No, I skipped on her. I just, I didn't really think that I would need her. But in retrospect, I kind of regret it. It wasn't even that I didn't think I would ever need her. It was more that without, I knew I wasn't able to go for Solinar. So without going for Solinar, it made me kind of discouraged to go for her. Okay, so Tramaria, Rala, Xenomorph, and who was the other one? I mean, I guess you can't really go wrong with Lydia, but Yeah, I don't really struggle with the Dark Elves faction though. Durandil works perfectly fine for my damage dealer. Kroghat is one that I'm definitely like glad that I didn't skip one. He's on my main Hydra team. I get more damage out of him than I do Trunda. But if I didn't have Packmaster to pair him with, I probably wouldn't feel that way. Yeah, that's I decided after missing not being able to go for Solinar, I'm not spending any shards or anything until the this coming up fusion, that Argonauts dude. Yeah, we'll just screw it. We'll have Wanda submissions on everybody. Yeah, I'm definitely going for this Peltanis Palop, whatever his name is. Even if I got to break out the wall in a little bit, I'm going for him. I don't regret getting Cassandra, but I don't. If it wasn't for a new faction, I don't really feel like she would have been, that great. Now there is that one new champion that yeah. Now there is that one champion coming out with the Argonauts that's going to be kind of like what they're calling the Lady Mikage of the Argonauts faction. And as strong as her A1 is, she'll probably be fairly useful in that, like if you get that champion to pair her with. But outside of that, I'm not really seeing other than Chimera a place for her. All right, let's see how this team plays out. Not very good. Not a very good start. Damn. Yeah, not a good start at all. We couldn't even petrify anybody. Let's let's try something different. All these speed teams, there's not really a whole lot we can do to counter that. I did not know that. I have He-Man, but I've never really used them much. Well, we petrified the Arbiter. Now we can stun Bolin. Oh, we can't stun Bolin. Damn. We can decrease his turn meter, but is Bolin immune to stuns as well? I've got Bolin, and he's my main faction wars nuker for the Skinwalkers. Like even above Sun Wukong, he's great for control. He has an AOE stun as well and a buff stripper. But I don't remember that about his kid, if it is or not. Well, thank you for the game's horrible AI. Yeah, he's definitely a good nuker slash CC champion himself. And where he's HP based, he's very tanky. Yeah, we lost that. The team is missing something. It's missing like a reviver. It's missing the fusion. Literally, like it's missing the previous fusion. I've got most of the Unity champions. I've got Ergaz, Theox, Bolin. Well, okay, I've got 3 or 4 of them. Let's try one more team. Like if they don't have Stone Skin or Mercurial or like a means of negating the damage, I feel like they're okay, but there's no real means of mitigate or like getting through Stone Skin or Mercurial with the Dark Elves. But that hit pretty hard. I agree. Without Aphidus or Predator, there's not really any good nukers. And without that last fusion, there's not really any good revivers, and it's just an all-around hard to work with team or faction. We got wanded. But I will say, as long as Xenomorph is able to kill them with that A2, that's a pretty good AoE nuke. Yeah, Marinix is. I've always kind of looked at Marinix as like the legendary version of Thalicia, that epic Hex girl. But she does have is either triple or quad hitter on the A1, so you are right. That could be a very good candidate for breaking through Mercurial. And as common as Mercurial is going to be, and it's just going to be more and more common as we go forward until there's a way to just hard counter it, that'd probably be a good champion to build up for that specific context. Ah, fuck, I didn't mean to use that. Yeah, I don't intend on using Xenomorph on this account. I'm just kind of, playing around, trying something new. I was more or less just seeing if we could make a Dark Elf team that could actually compete in Gold 5. Mithrala petrified herself. No bueno. At least Xenomorph does hit relatively hard. But I do agree, it might be better to swap out Lydia for Marinix. That is a tanky Duchess. I just mainly go Lazarius, turn meter fill into Gizmak, burn off the stone skins with him, and then come in with Geralt to provoke. And then when it gets back around to Geralt's second turn, we go into her second form and nuke. And if everybody gets killed, Siegfried is like my backup reviver, and Lazarius' passive kind of acts as another backup reviver. Siegfried's second form is one of the strongest support forms in the game, in my opinion. Even though you can't access it at whim, The AoE revive block damage for 2 turns is pretty insane. Wow. That was a pretty tanky team for us to be able to take on with just Xenomorph. Wonder if we can take on the Gizmak. Squadron. That makes me think of like Star Wars, the squad racers or whatever. You don't hear the terminology squadron very much. Thank you, thank you. Maybe that first page just had a lot of bad matchups for this team. We seem to be doing a bit better on this second page. Ooh, Loki hurt me a little bit there. There's still no means of damage on their team, so I think we'll be okay, but oh, hell yeah. I knew Lydia's passive blocked revives. I didn't realize it blocked revival and death buffs. I don't know why I thought it would act differently, but yeah, that's cool. So it blocks the revival and death buffs, which makes sense. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. Loki's getting them evades off like crazy. Yeah, on my free to play, I run, well, right now I'm not, but I normally run Loki in my arena. As far as just general progression, he pretty much hard carried my free to play for months, probably like 6 months. No way in hell do I think we're going to beat this team, but we're going to try it. That is true, but sometimes you only need it to happen once. You gotta be kidding me. I had no intentions whatsoever on winning that fight. There might be something here to this team because you gotta like keep in mind all of my gear is like unglyphed and stuff for the most part on these champions. Like this is just like random gear that I threw together. Like if I were to actually put real gear on these champions, there might be a team here. At least to use like in Siege. I say that as I'm getting wrecked, but considering the team we just took on prior to this, yeah, Xenomorph's hitting like a truck. I always thought he was just mainly clan boss, but he does okay in the arena if you can keep him alive. This was another team I was kind of hesitant if it was going to take on or not, but looking like it. TRAMARIA really is controlling the crap out of these people. And Xenomorph coming in with that 2-turn stun as well is helping. Having the double cleanse, double strengthens the shield, and Xenomorph nuking, it's working out. Damn. Well, Calamitous just wrecked us. You don't hear people talk about Calamitous much, but I feel like he's a kind of a slept-on mythical. Either way, man, I got to get off here and get ready for work in the morning. Thanks for chatting and stuff. I'll be back on tomorrow. Y'all have a great night. Hopefully we'll do this one too, but hopefully I was able to get my point across about TRAMARIA. I know it kind of turned into a whole like faction team build, but yeah, thanks for talking me through some of the building process though. That was fun. I'm always happy to like hear people's perspectives and stuff on building champions. Wow. Wow. Okay. But yeah, y'all have a good night. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow.